Hey, good day to you teammates. In this video, we're going to go over a little bit more of a 90s batch of PSA returns here. So we'll go through, dive into it. Fortunately, when we're going through with a little bit more of the older school, these tend to be a little bit more common. We had 3 non-graders. A little bit of a bummer here. We got a Larry Bird 86 Star Court popped up as altered. I looked at it compared to other cards. It looked okay, but it also looked pretty sharp for being an 86. But I don't know much about the alters or the star card, so I didn't have a good one to compare it to. But showed up as altered. Not sure where it was, but for how sharp it was, I'm guessing it was trimmed, but I'll do some more digging on it. Next, we had a 60 Topps Casey Stengel. So the Yankees manager here. I just thought it looked pretty good. Looked like it was kind of centered decently. I don't know if it got trimmed. Looks like maybe there's a slant cut there, so I don't know if somebody did that, but you can see it is miscut as well. So I didn't think it was too tampered, but no luck there. And then we had a miscut for the Kobe rookie here. This card is a PSA 10, it's like a 5-figure card. It just gets obnoxious. This one had a soft corner, as many of them all do. But got another one in a slab, so that was good news. But those were my 3 non-graders. The miscut for the Kobe, they did not charge me for, but the Casey and the Larry, they did. So always a little bit of a dice roll with PSA. But anyways, we'll go through diving in. This one, I purchased this already graded. I kind of wanted to go through and try to throw a run of the Pete playing days together throughout the, from 70 to 80. In low grade, I thought that'd be a fun one to go through and have on the wall. But Pistol Pete, PSA 1, this is a second-year card for him, but good stuff here. You don't see that hairstyle in the NBA as much anymore, but I think you heavily see it in freshman high school games nowadays. So Pistol Pete gets a 1, but that was already purchase graded. Next, going through, leading off, there's 2 IT cards that I've been chasing for the PC for years and have not really seen them, and you don't want to spend as much money on them when you do. And I found both of them within like a month span, kind of splurged on them and bought them just because they don't come up very much, but the grades were pretty fun for them. So we got a 2006 JJ Redick Topps Chrome Gold Refractor. These are numbered out of 25. This is the 1996 variation. So it's an 06 card, but you'll notice it looks similar to like Kobe's rookie, which was 96, so they get that look on it. Gold refractors were numbered out of 25. And this was, purchased raw on eBay, ended up getting a PSA 10. So that was a rarity, that was fun, and, again, Reddit collector here, so it'll be there to stay. So that was a fun piece of excitement. The other one, and again, you can tell the 90s collection here with the 96 variation. We also have the Ultra Platinum Medallion, Tony Romo. These are numbered to 100, but Romo gets a PSA 10 as well. Also purchased raw on eBay. Also gem, pretty exciting stuff. So yeah, Redick and Romo, those are, 2 of my favorite athletes right there. So it's kind of fun to, hit a good number on those. So those were exciting. All right, going through some others we got in this batch here. I don't know if you guys remember this set. This card was pretty sharp, but just a little bit off center, left to right here. You can kind of see a little bit thicker on the right. A 1998 Upper Deck Encore Jordan Gold FX. The excitement on these in 98, which just started to become a little bit of a thing, these were numbered to 125. So I was thinking, this is a 90s Jordan Gold numbered to 125. I'm like, oh, that's got to be big. The Encores, they don't go for as much as you'd probably think. I would think a Jordan numbered to 125 would be a big one from the 90s, but these go a little bit lower. They're, under $1,000 in this grade. I don't know, probably about a $700 card, 6-7. But pretty fun one to go through and stumble on. Keeping it with Jordan. This card I just thought was just a good looking card of a good looking dude here. Jordan at the end of his playing days, so he played till 03. So he graced us with basketball. From the 02-03 season was his last. LeBron comes in, debuts 03-04. But towards the end of the playing days for Jordan here, and just look at how much of a dude he just looks like. He was still putting up 25, 30 with the Wizards here after a few years off. But I just thought cool card. And again, this one just got a PSA 10. I picked this up for like, a couple bucks raw. In a 10, I think they're maybe like $60, but just kind of cool and fun seeing him in a Wizards jersey randomly too, but fun getting a 10. I don't know, those are rarities. All right, Jordan 1 to his mirror here, we'll say. Kobe, who kind of emulated his game off of Jordan's. We get the 96 PSA 6 for the EX 2000. These cards are, awesome. Cool to see. Hard to go through and find a good balance with these. The reason I say is you got the corners, but you also have the inside foil here. You can kind of see on the left something to look for. There's a little bit of give right there kind of by my finger. So really case sensitive set, which is why the 10s go for, I think the 10s are, 12, 15 grand. So pretty big, but again, hard to, just getting these cards in slabs sometimes is kind of fun. Next, we got the glove. Again, just something about those 90s refractors. When I see them, I'm just like, oh, that's good stuff. Again, this was a buck or two raw, but I thought it looked centered really, really good. Took a shot at it. I saw there was a 10 that went for a couple $100. I was like, let's roll the dice. Got a 9. A lot of these 90s cards are 10 or bust, but doesn't make them any less attractive. Good stuff with the glove there. Next we got, this is probably the set as a kid that I opened up the most. Not the Chrome's version. I was more of a quantity over quality kind of guy. So I used to have about 75 of this Mike Bibby rookie card, along with, Dirk and Pierce, and Vince Carter was in it. Jason Williams was in it. So I was a big Bibby, Jason Williams guy. But Paul Pierce goes through in this set. We got the Chrome. Gets a PSA 9. Kansas native, look at that, just mean mugging. Kind of fun. Next one here, we got the Lakers draft pick here. Who's not Kobe, but Kobe went to the Lakers, or Kobe went to the Hornets and then was traded. But we got the Lakers right here. They got Derek Fisher. This is the Atomic Refractor. He was a key cog, hit some big shots for the Lakers during their runs in the 2000s. Long career. Had one of those nice but awkward lefty strokes. Atomic Refractor gets a PSA 9. Those Atomic Refractors as a kid, they were just hard to find. Then next we got, going to the collegiate realms, we'll say. These sets I just think are cool. As a kid, you go through, you kind of weren't too gung-ho on pulling a card of Bobby Knight or Coach K. You wanted the players, and now I'm on the back 9 of the 30s here, and I go through and I'm like, I wonder if I can find a Bobby Knight card, a Coach K card. What's Rick Pitino cards going for? Just kind of some of that stuff. But this set, it's the Coach's Corner. It's the autograph version here from 2001. Again, rare to find serial numbered cards, but this numbered to 100. And again, just sent it in to get it kind of protected, but gets a PSA 6. The card is cool. The grade's fun, but having the card is just more exciting. So it's kind of the hoops batch. Moving over, we're going over to football here. Here we got the 99 Upper Deck Century Legends set for the football version. I don't know if you guys saw before, but I was kind of putting together the Epic Signature set for basketball, and I was trying to, see if I could put a good run together on the registry with PSA 10s, get a high grade one. Well, anyways, in that set, they also have jerseys of the century. And I went through and I pulled the trigger on a Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and it ended up getting a Gem 10. And I ended up selling it. I think it sold for like $500. And I saw this Jim Brown. I was like, the odds of getting the jersey cards compared to the autograph cards, the jerseys were substantially harder to pull. The autos were maybe 1 in 24 packs. The jerseys were 1 in every couple hundred packs, I think. So they're much, much more rare. I'm kind of a little bit more of a numbers guy, so I was like, the value should just be higher. I think I bought this Jim Brown for like $70 or something like that. On the flip side, the Alex English, I think I got this card for probably $7 or $8 too. But again, the Jim Brown, you're not touching a Kareem autograph for anywhere close to that. But the jersey cards were kind of newer. Their game use says you have received a game-worn jersey trading card from Upper Deck. On the front of this card is an authentic piece of game-worn jersey worn by Jim Brown in an official NFL game. So these are when the jersey cards kind of, really meant something too. You get the mugshot of Jim Brown, the helmet's just the evolution of football, and again, one of the best backs of all time, So a fun one right there. Going here, we got a 2000 Tom Brady rookie card. This was bought raw. Thought I had a chance. Get to 9. This is the Pacific Aurora. Here we got a Donruss Elite Gold. Again, it's from 07, but the serial numbers, they probably started getting a little bit more common, but not too valuable of a card, probably south of $100. Here we got a 23 Topps Composite Gold Refractor. There was a little issue. Let's see if I can get it in the light here. You can kind of see it right by my finger there. I think that's where it was. I think they had a little crease on it. Gets a 5, but still a Brady numbered to 50, which is pretty fun. Next, we got a Conductor's Blue Surge, numbered out of 99. Again, for me, just being more of a 90s kid, sometimes I'm a sucker for those serial numbers because they hardly existed. But gets a 10, but modern day serial numbers, so not too valuable. Going back, we got a Peyton here. I used to always go through and think Peyton was the guy in the NFL, still kind of do. But, in the 2000s when it was Brady and Manning kind of going at it, Manning was winning all the MVPs. He was getting the first round buys. And then they were kind of getting knocked out in the second round. Brady was, winning some Super Bowls, we'll say. But I thought Manning was the guy, but then it was crazy how much longer Brady outlasted him and how long he continued to play at a high level too. So here we got a Manning premiere date. These are numbered out of 79. Get to 7. Next, I got a Tony Gonzalez run I thought was cool. Here we got a Topps Chrome. I was bidding on a Refractor, but the Refractor ended up going for a couple $100. I think I was the second highest bidder. So nothing wrong with getting silver medals. You don't want golds on everything. But didn't win that one, but I just thought this was such a cool card. So I just got the base version, sent it in, gets a 9. Sent in a Bowman's Best, thought this one looked good. Again, this was a couple $1 pickup, but gets a gem 10. And the one I was hoping for, again, the Atomic Refractor. All those 90s shines are just hard to beat. Atomic Refractor, Tony gets a PSA 9. Cool one right here. We got the Mirror Fusions. This is a Jerome Bettis Refractor along with a rookie Fred Taylor. And if you guys are unfamiliar with the set, they kind of hide these serial numbers. I think they're working the kinks out in 98 here. But they are numbered to 100. So that's a really fun little find. But yeah, the bust, Fred Taylor, rookie for Taylor, numbered to 100, gets a PSA 10. So that was fun. This is a card show pickup for a couple bucks. And this was a shot I was taking. I was thinking, there's no way the Colts are going to be rolling out with Daniel Jones this year, and he has been playing some good ball. So Anthony Richardson, I don't know. Crazy thing is this card was probably $1,000 at the beginning of the season last year when he was a rookie. I think you can probably have it in a PSA 10 now for probably south of the grading fees. So hopefully he'll go through and get another shot. Big body, big arm. Then the final batch. This card I thought was just kind of cool. 1988 O-Pee-Chee Mini. You can kind of see the size compared to the other cards here too. So one of those little small, it's an O-Pee-Chee. Patrick Waugh gets a PSA 8. I go through, I see the O-Pee-Chee, and I think of it for the off-brands for like baseball and hoops and think, oh, that's rare, but much more common with the hockey. Not a very valuable card, but really pretty cool. Next, we got an iconic card here. Again, in a 10, this goes for, a nice house. Getting it in a slab is half the battle. I thought this one looked very sharp. A lot of times there's kind of peeling and white edging, especially at the corners. This one I thought looked pretty good. Not saying 10, obviously, but gets a 6. Bottom right looks a little bit softer than I recall. But cool card of a young Jeter there. And the finale, we got the big unit. Just cool. Upper deck rookie. Thought it was centered, thought it looks good enough to have a chance, but missed a couple things there, it looks like. I don't know if that looks like it didn't, but gets a PSA 8. But fun little batch. Good to get. Thanks for watching.